Welcome to Conversations from the Barn at Everwood Farmstead. These are casual chats with visiting artists. Creaky barn, bugs, and all. Enjoy. Hello, and welcome to Conversations from the Barn. I'm Bill Underwood, and I am here today with two artists on retreat at Everwood, both writers, and I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves.
Hi, my name's Raki Kopernik.
Hey, Raki, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
And I'm Miriam McNamara.
And you go by Mimi, or is that just what Raki calls you?
Yeah, people call me Mimi.
I can get away with calling you Mimi?
Yeah, you totally can.
Just for this podcast?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're both writers. Talk to me about what is your writing focus on? Raki, you first?
I write in lots of different genres. So I have a book called The Memory House that is a sort of a poetic memoir, kind of in poetry form. And that's about my parents and my family who I grew up back and forth between here, the States, and Israel. And it's about my family in Israel and my childhood there and the history of my family immigrating there and then immigrating to the States. And then I have another book that just came out that's called The Things You Left. It's short stories, flash fiction, kind of magical realism. So two pretty different genres, but I like to mix it up.
And you probably wouldn't share this, but the Memory House was nominated for the Minnesota Book Award, a finalist for the Minnesota Book Award.
Indeed.
So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
In the memoir category, is that right?
Correct, yeah.
Awesome, congrats.
Thank you.
Mimi, how about you?
I write young adult fiction, actually. My two published books are queer historical fiction. They are called The Unbinding of Reade, which is pirates, and then An Impossible Distance to Fall, which is pilots, set in 1930. It's like a barnstorming circus.
So pirates
situation.
And then pilots.
Yes.
So in the last 2 weeks now, we've been focusing on zombies, pirates, and pilots. I love it. How diverse can that get?
Amazing.
Fantastic.
And then Mimi's first book also won an award.
Oh, yeah. It won the Independent Publishers Book Award for Young Adult Fiction. So
Congratulations to you.
thank you. Thanks, Wend.
Yeah, Sheriff Wend.
So oftentimes we find, artists come and they get into their own flow here. Sometimes that flow varies each day. What Chris and I have noticed about the two of you is you got into a routine from day one and you've really stuck with that routine. And it starts with morning yoga here in the barn. And you, Raki, are a yoga instructor.
Correct, yeah.
How does that start your day and the importance of that to your day here as an artist?
Yeah, I mean, every day of my life I do that. I wake up and I floss my teeth and then I brush them with homemade tooth powder that I make with herbs, and then legit. And then I do a neti pot, literally every morning. And then I do my yoga practice. And here it's been just incredible to have the quiet and the space and the air. My favorite thing is to just be outside and breathe deep, and really the way it smells here is just nowhere else. Actually, it's kind of like the kibbutz where I spent a lot of my childhood, and I smell, sometimes in the morning I'll take those deep breaths and smell the air here, and it just smells like Israel, which is so far away and so different, but it's that sort of country air feeling, and I think it just really helps me to focus. I do a meditation practice, a sitting practice at the end of my movement practice, and it just kind of helps to move things, get things moving in my body. When you are writing a lot, you're just sitting on your butt all day. So it's really important to balance it out with the movement. Yeah.
And I feel like your day has been very consistent as well from a timing. I feel like you go to work at a certain time and you're done at a certain time.
Yeah.
You've held a good balance here from working until a certain time and then relaxing and enjoying the property after that. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, definitely. I feel we're both Virgo rising, so I feel we have that in common. And yeah, I like goal setting, and I like routine. So I was like, an hour and a half here and an hour and a half there. For me, I was like two chunks, and then sometimes there'd be another hour or two somewhere later in the day where it like just felt like I just wanted to write some more. But yeah.
So did you both come with goals in mind?
I was going to say, yeah, before we came, Mimi was like, okay, here's what we need to do every day if we want to write this much. We're also both sort of in the middle of writing new novels, and so we were like, what if we come here and finish our first drafts, both of us, of our novels, which has not happened, but we've really, really written so much. And that was sort of like a lofty goal. But she said, she did all this like math calculation. She was like, okay, every day we'll got to do this, and we'll do this much in the morning and this much in the evening, word count and pages. And that really helped me. But, part of why I wanted us to do this together was because I was like, if it's just me, I'll be like, I'll do yoga, and then I'll take a walk, and then I'll write for like 20 minutes, and then I'll go eat. But having her with me is really making me be like, she just is like a machine. She's like cranking it out like this, and I'm like, we sent that, that meme of the cat going like this on a computer or a typewriter. We sent that back and forth to each other a lot before the game. Like, let's do it.
Yeah.
She's really good at the push.
Well, I've written a couple of novels now, like,
They're big.
Yeah. So I knew I wasn't going to get to the end of a draft because, I was like, well, how many words is that? And then I was like, well, that's impossible. But I was like, what would be a good sort of stretch goal that was like possible, achievable, but also like maybe not. And it's okay if I don't get there. But so
Raki, from your perspective, it was important to be here with Mimi to kind of keep you a little bit more on task. Mimi,
Yes.
how about you? Why? Yeah. It was important to both of you. Like when you submitted your applications, it was like, we want to be here together.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
important to us that we're here together. Mimi, why from your perspective?
Yeah, I feel like, writing's such an introverted thing, but I don't feel like I'm a super introverted person, and I get so much from like conversations about writing, and like every day we would read to each other what we worked on and kind of brainstorm or talk about like places we were feeling stuck, and that to me really kind of energizes the whole process in a way that if I'm sitting by myself, that's good too, but it like brings it more to life. It like puts a fire under it a little bit more.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about what is happening, in the scene we wrote today, or around what's going to happen or what happened before, and just walking together and talking about it so many times we've been like, oh, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Things that, like, I think we're both kind of external processors, and so talking it out, it's kind of like the yoga too, where it's just like there's creating movement, kind of gets things going, and it opens those channels and all the creative stuff to move. And yeah, it's been like an amazing time to have this week and have each other, for me to have you. It's been so helpful. I've never written as much as I've written in the last 5 days here in this short of a time. Like, oh my God.
Is that surprising to you, that result, or did you fully expect yep, that's going to happen?
I expected it because I wanted it, but I was like, I don't know. I was like planning on it in my head, and I wasn't trying to be like, what if I can't do it? I was like, I can do it. I try not to go into that sort of like, I can't do it place. And so I was like, I'll do it, but it still feels surprising, and it still feels like so exciting that it happened, even though I was like, I'm planning on doing it.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I just couldn't see it.
So as you've been walking, talking, has there been a favorite place on the property where you find the most inspiration has come to you, or have you found a favorite spot on the property this week, Mimi?
Well, I love the barn, but obviously that's not, a big walk. I loved the pet cemetery. We had a picnic, I think it was the first day, actually. We actually brought a bottle of champagne and like way too much cheese up to the little oak tree and with the pet cemetery, and drank the bottle and read each other our work, and that was really nice. We've gone up there a couple times.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
All the paths, like we've gone down every way just to see where it goes, and all of it over there is really beautiful. It's really nice to have that woodsy part going up to the pet cemetery, like just to feel kind of like enclosed a little bit, and just the ground is just all moss. It's just like we're just like a nature's carpet everywhere. It's like so just beautiful, and it smells good, and yeah.
And the tomatoes were particularly inspiring also, I would
We ate a lot of
say.
tomatoes.
So Raki and Miriam and Mimi are here at the peak of Everwood's tomato harvest season, so their timing is flawless in that
Yeah.
respect. So have you had a chance to walk barefoot on the moss yet?
No.
Oh.
How come we didn't think of that?
Still have a few
I think a
hours.
number of
I gotta
artists
go.
who are probably listening
now.
to this would say, get out there, take your shoes off, and walk the moss in your bare feet. It's something we see in the comment book a lot. Is I love walking on the moss in my bare feet. So give it
doing
a
that
give it a
today.
whirl. You're
Yeah.
totally doing that today.
Right.
Can you share anything about your current novels that you're working on, Mimi?
Yeah. I'm pretty excited. I'm doing a contemporary novel, working on one right now. That is set in Minneapolis and Wisconsin now. I was sort of like, oh, maybe her like hometown's in Wisconsin, and I was writing this scene where she was going back home for fall break. And now it's set in Wisconsin, obviously. Like there's a barn in it.
Every day she's like, oh, I guess I'm going to have chickens now in my novel. Everything.
It's true, a lot of it.
Are there going to be any poodles in your novel?
Yeah.
Actually, yes.
Okay.
Monty was my dog growing up, but now the other dog's named Lucy. So,
That's awesome.
but anyway, I got off track. So when I was 16, I went to college sort of last minute, and so it's sort of like based on that.
Awesome. Raki?
My novel is based on a period of time where an old friend of mine committed suicide, and then right after that, I was traveling through Europe with very little money, and it was a very long time ago, in my early 20s, and so it's kind of based on that. It's like traveling, and then sort of with this ghost that kind of appears, and it's not super heavy, but it is like about grief and just sort of the lines between life and death and dreams and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. It's a little dreamy.
Well, we wish you both the best with those novels. We were talking before this conversation, and you mentioned the question, am I an artist? Am I a writer? Has this week helped fulfill or answer that question for either of you?
I think it's really validating to be here, definitely, because it feels like we're making the space necessary, and you guys are like, you are artists, come to our artist retreat. And so I think that combination is, it really strengthens that identity or validates it.
Yeah, 100% same. Yeah, it feels very validating to be here. It feels validating to have, right, same thing that you guys are like, yes, we wrote these applications for you, and you're like, oh yeah, you guys are obviously artists doing a lot of great stuff. Please come. And then we've been talking just between us a lot about like having space, and it's not just physical space, but it's like the internal space and mental space and in your body space and sort of the channeled space, and this place really allows for, kind of the regular life to slow down a little bit and to just be in the space and time of, like we have this schedule, and we're like, we're going to write, and then we're going to do that, and then we're going to write, and then we're going to do that, and then we're going to write. It's like all day we have this space to do it, and we've written so much. So yeah, I'm like, if I wasn't writing before, I'm really writing now. So yeah.
Well, I know that's one of the highest compliments Chris and I have ever received was somebody leaving here and wrote, I leave here now after this week knowing that I am a capital A artist. So your words they mean a lot to us. We're grateful that you're both here. Thanks for joining us. And thanks for being a part of this conversation. And we look forward to reading what came out of your time at Everwood.
Thank you so much.
Cheers. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening to Conversations from the Barn at Everwood Farmstead. Our theme music is provided by John Mark Nelson. Wishing you all good health.